Hello, ladies and gentlemen, big crosses around my neck. I'm Chains. Welcome to the Chains Project. Today's reading is Genesis chapter 12, verse 10 to 20. Abram and Sarai in Egypt. I hope they brought their own internet. Now there was a famine in the land, so Abram went down to Egypt to reside there as an alien, for the famine was severe in the land. When he was about to enter Egypt, he said to his wife Sarai, I know well that you are a woman beautiful in appearance. And when the Egyptians see you, they will say, This is his wife. Then they will kill me, but they will let you live. Say that you are my sister, so that it will go well with me because of you, and that my life may be spared on your account. When Abram entered Egypt, the Egyptians saw that the woman was very beautiful. When the officials of Pharaoh saw her, they praised her to Pharaoh. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And for her sake he dealt well with Abram. He had sheep, oxen, male donkeys, male and female slaves, female donkeys, and camels. But the Lord afflicted Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. So the Pharaoh called to Abram and said, What is this you have done to me? Why did you not tell me she was your wife? Why did you say, She is my sister, so that I took her for my wife? Now then, here's your wife, take her and be gone. And the Pharaoh gave his men orders concerning him, and they sent him on the way, with his wife and all that he had. Alright, so Abram and Sarai decided to go on a vacation down to Egypt because the grocery store in the land of Canaan sucks. And then when they're about to get to, Egypt, Abram's like, Sarai, you're really hot. That's the only reason I really married you. So all these guys are going to figure out that you're really hot, and then they're going to want to take you away from me. So just pretend to be my sister so I don't get murdered, if that'll be cool. So they get to Egypt, and the Egyptians, just like Abram thought, were like, dude, that's a really hot chick. Can I have her? And then the Pharaoh's like, nuh-uh, it's mine. He said it's his sister. Alright, I'll give you a whole bunch of presents and cool stuff like sheeps and donkeys and slaves and camels. You like camels, right? That's trademark Egypt. Who doesn't like camels? Camels are awesome. Here, have some camels. I get your hot sister. And then God's like, hey, Pharaoh, that chick's married. Plague, plague, plague. And then Pharaoh's like, oh, come on. Abram, you told me it was your sister. That's a real dick move to do, man. Here, take your wife. Get the hell out of town. I hate you guys. Alright, let's start out by trying to figure out why Abram and Sarai decided to go to Egypt in the first place, because that, can bring into some questions if Abram knew that they were going to maybe kill him. So, the land of Canaan is mainly a rain-dependent area, whereas Egypt is controlled by the Nile River, which always floods around a time, give or take. And the Nile Delta is a really, really fertile area, even though when you think of Egypt, you think sand and pyramids and that weird thing that has its nose broken off, the Sphinx. But the Nile Delta actually is a really fertile place. It's, good stuff grows there. Nice water. So that's the logic I use to figure out why they left in the first place. Makes sense. Nile River actually eat food, whereas if it wasn't raining, dirt doesn't taste very good. Alright, and the part where Abram says that they're going to kill him if Sarai doesn't pretend to be his sister isn't exactly as false as many people claim. It's actually an Oriental tradition where if you can kill a guy, you can take his wife. So Abram wasn't crazy, and that if he was pretending to be Sarai's brother, they would have to deal with him and give him a dowry or, cool gifts in order to win Sarai over. So he was kind of thinking ahead of the game to get cool presents, in my opinion. Now, how the Pharaoh knew to contact Abram that Sarai was the reason because of the plagues isn't exactly said. You can assume that maybe he was like, hey, new person in my life, plagues, maybe that's the reason why. And then, he figures out, oh, you're married, I should probably not stick my penis in you, that would be a bad idea, God doesn't like that. The big question in the story is, who is really to blame? Abram ends up leaving this whole thing, with some extra sheep and male slaves and donkeys and camels. And the Pharaoh, he gets a plagued house, which doesn't say if it gets vanished the second he kicks out Sarai. I imagine once you've got plague in your hardwood floors, it's very difficult to get out. But if you think about it, the Pharaoh didn't really do anything wrong. He was kind of right when he was yelling at Abraham about, hey, why didn't you tell me that she was married to you already? Now I'm screwed and have plague all over the place on the walls. It's very hard to get out. Not even Mr. Clean can take care of this. So I went and I asked a whole bunch of people, and about 60% of the people say that Abram was in the wrong. They were like, why did he do that? Which begs the question of why was God plaguing the Pharaoh? That's kind of a dick move to go. And the funny thing is the next highest percent was 15% of people said everybody was in trouble, and they all did something wrong. Which is justifiable, even if back then, when women don't really have much of a say and they kind of have to go with whatever their husband says, Sarah could have been like, whoa, Pharaoh, I'm married to that guy who's pretending to be my brother because he doesn't want to get murdered. And her silence throughout the story is kind of thought to be as, consent, that she just went along with it, which is still bad. And of course, Abram lied in the first place. And some people also say that the Pharaoh, based on his lustful actions to, get jiggy with the hot chick, that was his fault. Even though I kind of disagree in that he did follow the tradition where he gave Abram a whole bunch of cool stuff for his sister, and then was going to sleep with her and made her his wife. So this is where I must ask you guys, what do you think? Who is the person in the wrong? What's your justification and reasoning? I personally think it's Abram. I could be wrong. Who knows? I'm an idiot wearing a giant cross around my neck because I'm told I have to. And so depending on who is wrong, that really affects the moral of the story, because if Abram is wrong, the story is don't lie and accept your hot chick as your wife because she's your hot chick wife. Or if the Pharaoh is wrong, that means don't be lustful and want to have sex with all the hot chicks. And if Sarai is wrong, that means don't go with silly people's dumb schemes. Speak up for yourself and stop just letting yourself be treated as an object. It really depends on who is wrong, in my opinion. I could be wrong. That'd be awesome. God could be wrong, or it could be everybody's wrong, and everybody should get, put in a corner for a timeout to think about what they did. That is it for this episode of The Chains Project. I hope you didn't try and hurt yourself with a sharp object, or a dull object, or an object that is neither sharp nor dull, and is part of your imagination. Remember to leave all your comments, questions, concerns, chlorine, and crampons in the area below, or send me an email. I love them. You people are so much fun to talk to. And I was working on an outro, and I was trying to get this cross off my head.